Hi, I'm Corinne, and I draw caricatures for fun. I learned how to draw caricatures while I was working at Six Flags. I worked there for one season, and then I moved away, so I wasn't able to continue. I didn't have any options to continue drawing caricatures professionally, and it kind of just fell to the wayside for me for a while. But lately I've been getting back into it as a hobby because I started to miss it. It's something that has been in the back of my mind ever since I left. Even in the 5 years since I've had that job, when I see strangers, sometimes I just imagine how they would look as a caricature in my head. But I'm not sure why, after all this time, I've chosen to begin again now. I do think part of it is AI, like the recent trend of people prompting ChatGPT to draw them a caricature, which isn't really a caricature. It's really more of a slightly stylized portrait. And it's missing the key ingredient of what makes a caricature, which is the human perspective. Because there are a lot of different ways to interpret a face. And caricatures are all about taking your impression and exaggerating the things that you notice. I won't say that there are no wrong answers when drawing a caricature, but there are multiple right answers. For example, even though I'm only showing you one reference photo here, I'm actually using multiple as I'm drawing. I chose to add some earrings that I own and also put my hair in a style that I had in a different picture of myself. Oh yeah, by the way, this is me. I thought it'd be right to start things off by drawing myself. Anyway, I chose to draw myself with a really round face because to me it does appear very round when I have a big smile on my face. But someone else might see a picture of me where I'm not smiling as big or maybe not at all. And in those cases, my face might look narrow. Both interpretations would technically be correct, but they would be very different from each other. I think that's why preserving human artistry is so important. I'd like to continue this series, so do me a favor and don't use ChatGPT. Follow this channel, like the video, and post a photo of yourself in the comments if you'd like me to draw you. I can't guarantee that I'll get to every single person, but I'll do as many as I can. You can include a few reference images if you want, and feel free to write a fun fact about yourself. See you next time! I'm Corinne, and today I'm drawing a caricature of a stranger from Reddit. My reference image is from a subreddit called Reddit Gets Drawn Badly. People post their photos with the intention of getting drawn by strangers on the internet. I've been on there a lot recently to just practice caricatures, but I thought it'd be fun to also start a video series. I learned how to draw caricatures while working at Six Flags. At the time, I had no caricature experience, but I had been drawing for a long time. It was an awesome job, and the only reason that I left was because I moved away, and sadly there aren't any locations near where I live now. It was a super fun job, honestly the best that I ever had. I wanted to continue caricatures after I left, but it was really difficult. Pretty much the only options around me are to freelance, and the business side of that just comes with so many complications that I didn't think I could handle it. But lately I've really been missing doing caricatures, so that's why I'm doing them again now, even if it's just practicing by myself at home. Everyone is entitled to their own tastes and opinions, but I think a lot of people don't like caricatures because of misconceptions about them. I think a lot of people see caricatures as ugly portraits, but for me, I'm trying to celebrate a person's unique features through exaggeration. I'm not trying to make fun of them, I want them to laugh with me. By the way, I'm not forgetting the tattoo, I just wanted to do it with my colors later. Anyway, I think if anything, drawing caricatures actually taught me to appreciate the full spectrum of beauty a bit better. Because when you're always trying to emphasize a person's most notable features, it really gives you an appreciation for everything that makes them unique. I'm doing the tattoo after the signature because actually I did forget. Hi, I'm Corinne. I'm a former caricature artist at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. It's raining really hard outside, and I hope that's not coming through on the voiceover. Anyway, I want to thank everyone so much for all the comments on the first couple videos. I honestly wasn't expecting such an immediate response, and that's why I had already recorded another video of myself drawing a stranger from Reddit. But going forward, I'm going to be using your photos from the comments. So, if you'd like to be featured in a future video, there are just 2 things that you have to do. Go ahead and follow this profile and then leave a comment in this video with a picture of yourself. You can even leave a few different pictures if you want, just nest them under your original comment. Having multiple reference photos can actually be really helpful. If I have a few pictures from different angles and with different lighting, it gives me a better 3-dimensional sense of what your face looks like, instead of trying to go off of what the lens captured in one singular moment of time. But I really appreciate all the comments, and I will try to get to as many of them as I can. I made a special note to draw this follower first. Thank you, Leah, for letting me use your image and for being the very first person to leave a photo comment. It was so exciting to see that very first one come in, so I just knew that this had to be the first follower that I drew. So thank you so much, Leah. I hope that you like the way that this turned out. It's really exciting taking on this project, so thank you so much to everyone here for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! Hi, I'm Corinne. I'm a former caricature artist at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing my follower, John. At least I think his name is John. The profile says, "Hello, John." Are you John and we're saying hello to you? Or are you saying hello, but just to John specifically? Please, give me answers. I'm so confused. So John, if that even is his real name, sent me 2 pictures for a reference. One with a smile and one so I could better see his glasses. And I love these cat glasses so much. I need a pair for myself. Listen, if there are 2 things that sway me, it is cats and funky glasses. Put the 2 of them together and I'm just useless. I'm at the whim of the cat glasses. Anyway, I took some really cartoony liberties with the eyes here, super magnified by the lenses, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. It reminds me of an old-timey cartoon. And you've got a great smile. I'm happy with this one. There's something about it that just seems warm and nostalgic. Oh my god, my yellow Neo color broke. I'm so pissed. Just got them and 2 of them are already broken. It's my fault. I pressed too hard. I'm still used to Prismacolor's RIP color sticks. If you know, you know. But if you want a chance to be featured in the next one, just follow me, like this video, and leave a photo comment. Or a few. See you next time. Hi, I'm Corinne. I used to do caricatures at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing my follower. Nathan Easy is a lovely person, I'm sure. You guys are really catching me up with the usernames. This is supposed to be a family-friendly show. Anyway, I love, love, love the hair. It is so sick. It's giving anime, truly. It's giving JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, actually. And I realized as I was drawing this exact part that your earrings are actually Polnareff's earrings from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I don't know if that's coincidence or not, but maybe you are actually trying to be a real-life JoJo's character. In which case, congrats, you're succeeding. You look awesome. I love anime. I love being in fandoms. JoJo's is my favorite anime and it has a very active fandom. I'm going to a JoJo's party this weekend. How insane is that? I'm so excited for Steel Ball Run. By complete coincidence, this video will actually come out on the day that Steel Ball Run comes out. For those of you who don't watch JoJo's, that's the new season that is releasing on Netflix today. I just love this series so much. One of the biggest reasons is because of the fashion and the cool hairstyles. This hair would fit right in, that's all I'm saying. And the color is so much fun. I love getting to use my bright colors. I live in a colorful world. I want to use all the crayons in the figurative crayon box. I wish they were crayons. They're very expensive woodless colored pencils that keep breaking on me. Anyway, I decided to take a big swing. I could be completely wrong, but I JoJo-ified your caricature right at the very end. If you're not a fan and this is a swing and a miss right now, just go watch the show and get back to me. I think at the very least, you'll really like the fashion. If you want a chance to be featured in the next one, follow me and leave a photo comment. Hi, I'm Corinne. I'm a former caricature artist at Six Flags and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing one of my followers, Cami. I just want to let everyone know that I've received so many comments and it's so exciting. There are so many faces that I want to draw and I'm trying to keep up with them as best as I can. But I am only one person. I want to encourage everyone to keep commenting if you haven't been drawn yet. I've mostly been drawing pretty much whatever photo speaks to me in the moment. There are a few that I have saved, and I'm also picking new comments from new videos. I've received a few comments that say things like, I won't comment my photo again because I don't want to overwhelm you or annoy you. I want to reassure everyone that every comment is appreciated. And also on a practical level, I have ADHD. I'm super scatterbrained, but if I see your picture come up multiple times, it kind of sends a signal for me to remember. So please keep on commenting as many times as you like. You can comment the same photo again. You can comment new photos. It doesn't matter. Every comment is appreciated, and I am going to draw as many of you as I possibly can. And even if you just enjoy watching and you don't want to be drawn, the comments and the likes are really appreciated. It shows me that you guys are out here enjoying the videos and you want to see more, and that encourages me to keep on going and making more art. So yeah, long story short, I enjoy hearing from you guys. Keep it coming. With that aside, let's talk about the art a little. I think I'm really starting to get more used to these colors. There's a little different technique required compared to the ones that I used to use. In particular, I'm really happy with the way that the lips came out. I love putting like a good reflection on them to show some gloss and dimension. So yeah, a cute caricature for a really cute photo. Cami, I hope you like the way this turned out. And if you want a chance to be featured next, follow me, like this video, and leave a photo comment. Hi, I'm Corinne. I'm a former caricature artist at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing this adorable cat that was posted in my comments. His name is Mr. Pancake Rupert. As you might be able to see, I did a quick sketch of the basic shapes underneath. I find it really hard to draw shapes in fur without a guideline, and I wanted his face to be extra squishy. Doing this one was actually really funny. I showed my partner the picture of Mr. Pancake Rupert. He only saw the picture and no other information. And his comment was, he looks like an older gentleman who would be named Rupert. So this cat is very aptly named. The line work took longer than it usually does. Again, fur is hard. And then I thought I'd draw a nice little stack of pancakes behind the little guy to represent his namesake. I know you guys have had a lot of questions about the art process. I'm trying to demystify it as much as possible. But it's kind of hard to do because with a caricature, I am kind of just winging it half the time. I mean, generally I try to put down a main shape of the face first and then do eyes and nose and mouth, and this is all a little bit more complicated for a cat, which doesn't necessarily follow the same rules as a human, so maybe this isn't the best time to try to explain this. I don't know, maybe I'll get more into the nitty-gritty of the process on a different video. My story about the name already took up a lot of time, and we're on finishing details now. So, just a reminder, if you want a chance to be featured in one of the next ones, go ahead and follow my profile, like this video, and leave a photo of yourself in the comments, or a few photos, or a photo of your pet. Oh, what a sweet face. Hi, I'm Corinne. I'm a former caricature artist at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing a follower who left a photo in my comments, Ed Worm. This is one of those that was really just too hard to resist. It's a lot of fun to draw special effects or really dramatic makeup. This person wanted me to draw them in their corpse paint, and I am happy to oblige. With something like this, I do tend to blend the actual features of the face with the effect that the makeup creates. I've changed the shape of their eyes because that's the way that the eyeshadow and the eyeliner pulls up. I've still tried to maintain as much of the impression of the features as I can, especially with the nose and mouth. And doing the lips in marker is a real treat. I don't get to do that very often. I love that super intense look that it gives. The stark contrast of pure black and white just hits different. It's hard to give a really detailed rundown of the process. When I'm editing, I pretty much cut out any dead air. So a 25-minute process gets boiled down to a minute and a half, which doesn't give me enough time to walk you through every detail of the thought process. Pretty much I can just drop little tidbits here and there. Sorry, I'm doing the best I can. And with coloring, there's not much to say. I generally start with the skin first. Since they're wearing all white makeup, I just shade with a very light gray. Oh, this is me drawing the badge. I couldn't read the whole name because it was covered by the hair. It said elder something, so as a gag I just put average Mormon. When missionaries show up on my doorstep, they generally look like this. Anyway, for a chance to be featured in the next one, follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. Hi, I'm Corinne. I'm a former caricature artist at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Drawing a follower from my comments, B. As I mentioned before, I am a sucker for funky glasses, and their star glasses fit that bill. Drawing this one really took me back to my live drawing days, unintentionally. I mean, I'm still drawing from a photo from the comments, but I'm on a bit of a time crunch unexpectedly. I got to just about this point in the drawing and was really happy with the face, and then I realized I had about 15 minutes left till I had to go to work, with still half the line work to do and all of the coloring. That's about how much time I would take if I was drawing at Six Flags. But with these videos, I'm at a bit of a weird angle. I'm still kind of getting used to having the tripod above me. And since I don't have an impatient customer sitting in the chair waiting to go on a roller coaster, it gives me a bit more freedom to be relaxed and draw at my own pace. But all of that's out the window today. I'm going as fast as I possibly can. For lighter skin tones, I usually start with pink. I do a blush on the cheeks and nose and lips. On the fingers too, if the hands are visible. This is pretty standard, even if the person doesn't have visual blush. It just adds some dimension to the skin tone. If this was a darker skin tone, I might use olive undertones or a different shade of brown. I did use brown for the freckles instead of going in with the marker. They just didn't seem quite dark enough to justify that. I'm pretty much out of time for commentary. If you want a chance to be featured, follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. Hi, I'm Corinne. I used to draw caricatures at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing my follower Emmy, who seems to be a really big fan of Heated Rivalry. I have to admit that I haven't gotten around to this show yet, but I was a huge fan of Supernatural when I was a teenager. Basically the same thing, right? I know my shipping dynamics. That's Dean and Cass, and they play hockey now instead of hunting ghosts. I do hope that Heated Rivalry ends better. Supernatural made me so mad that I threw out all my merch and then wrote an entire play about how angry I was. Fandom culture, am I right? Okay, I'm going to preemptively tell you, get your mind out of the gutter here. It's not what you think it is. This is sweet and wholesome content. Yes, they are actually faces. I like including props when I can if it says something about the person. This reference photo gave me a lot to work with, so I decided to go with this cute little theme with these little dolls. I was kind of inspired by those cute little crochet dolls that a lot of people were making on Etsy in different fandoms. You know, the ones I'm talking about. They're just a few inches tall, and a lot of them have button eyes and stuff. And after that, I'm back to drawing hair. I wasn't sure if it would overlap with the dolls, so I wanted to do them first since they're such an important part of the piece. A lot of the times, if I can, I like to put the hair going over the shoulder in one half and then behind the shoulder on the other side. It allows me to show the length, but then also still show the clothing. And now I'm coloring. This is going to go by super quick because the line work took so long, I really had to skip ahead. So I'll wrap it up by reminding you, if you would like a chance to be featured in the next one, go ahead and follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. Or a few photos nested together. I want to celebrate all your beautiful faces. Hi, I'm Corinne. I used to draw caricatures at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing my follower Rhea. I really like your piercings. They're super cool. I'm going to try to answer a popular question today. I've had a lot of people ask how I got into drawing or how I got into caricatures in the first place. When I started, I was pretty much self-taught. In elementary school, I enjoyed doing art. I did lots of it at home, too. I did drawing, coloring, making polymer clay at my grandma's house. In middle school, I developed a specific interest in drawing. I realized that if I was patient enough, I was pretty good at replicating a photo from reference. I did a lot of drawings with pencil and sometimes colored pencil, usually portraits of different celebrities. And it was a way to indulge in my hyperfixations. I drew a lot of Tim Burton characters at that time. I was definitely a hot topic teen. And in a lot of ways, drawing was a way for me to quiet my brain. I have ADHD, and doodling during class actually helped me concentrate and absorb information better. But unfortunately, not every teacher understood that. I had one science teacher who used to throw things at my head when he caught me drawing. Usually it was stuff that was harmless, like erasers or crumpled up paper, but one time a stapler narrowly missed me, and that was pretty scary. Ooh, you can actually see me make a mistake here in real time and then figure out how to fix it. I accidentally colored the shoulders like the hair, and then I just drew new shoulders. Fixing mistakes confidently is something that I learned later on in my art journey, and I'll have to do a part 2 of this because I just don't have time to finish talking about it today. But if you want a chance to be featured in the next one, just follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. Hi, I'm Corinne. I'm a former caricature artist at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. In the last video, I started talking about my art journey and how I got into art in the first place. I'm going to continue from where I left off, so if you haven't seen my last caricature video, I suggest you watch that first. So in high school, I was still drawing a lot of portraits from reference photos, but I started branching into other areas too. I started drawing animals and landscapes. One piece that I spent a lot of time on was a hyper-realistic pencil drawing of 2 of my cats at the time. I also started drawing a lot more from imagination, and I started playing around with cartoon styles too. Honestly, I owe a lot of my experience to fan art. Steven Universe is a big one that broke me out of my usual realistic style. Also Scooby-Doo, which I still love to this day. And around that time, I also started doing digital art for the first time. I took an animation class in high school where I had to simplify my style to complete certain projects. And I also got my first drawing tablet around this time, one of the classic Wacom Bamboos. It didn't have a screen, so I had to learn a whole new skill set in learning to look in one place while drawing in another. And in retrospect, I think that's one of the things that made it easier to adapt to using an easel when I started drawing caricatures at Six Flags. And then I went to college, but I did not go to school for art. But I'm going to have to pause story time there for today because we're almost out of time. Thank you so much to Sunny Teddy 3 for letting me use your photo. I hope you won all the prizes at Chuck E. Cheese. And if you want a chance to be featured in the next one, follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. Hi, I'm Corinne. I used to draw caricatures at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing Isabella, who posted a photo in my comments. This look is so cool, and I'm getting action movie vibes, so I'm gonna roll with that. Some commenters have asked about my art journey and how I got into caricatures. I started answering in my past couple videos, so go check those out if you're new here. A quick recap, I was mostly self-taught, took a few classes in high school. Then I went to college, but not for art. I got my degree in acting, which I'm still pursuing, but I don't really enjoy making content about it. And in college, I almost quit doing visual art. And it's because of a popular mindset in performing arts that I don't agree with and I think is detrimental. It's that you should pour 100% of your time and energy into performing, leaving no room for hobbies or other creative outlets. And I had a lot of people telling me that. I had one professor who I'm still good friends with who had the opposite mindset. She actually assigned a project for us to explore anything we were curious about. And my exploration was through visual art. She loved what I presented, and it led to a collaboration between us. She had written a collection of beautiful poems and wanted someone to illustrate them. So I did, all 100 of them, and we published a book. And I learned that making any kind of art is a chance to grow. I made some of my best progress as an actor during that time. Making art is good for you. It's good for your mind, it's good for your body, it's good for your soul. And after making that book together, we collaborated as theater makers many times. I'm glad I didn't shrink myself to be just one thing. I'm not just an actor or an artist or a musician or a writer. I'm all those things, plus more, because I'm a whole human being. And I'm also out of time. I promise I'll finish this up in the next part. Until then, if you want a chance to be featured in the next one, follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. See you next time! Hi, I'm Corinne. I used to draw caricatures at Six Flags and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing Critters Coven, who asked to be drawn with a furry friend. A lot of you have asked about my art journey and how I got into caricatures. I've been answering that question in the past few parts, so if you're new here, go ahead check out those videos first. But the TLDR is I was mostly self-taught through high school and I drew as a hobby. Then I went to college for performing arts, and I almost quit visual art, but I kept going, and I did a really cool collaboration with one of my professors, and then I graduated. As you may remember, I got my degree in acting. The year I graduated was 2020. As you might imagine, that put pretty much all of my plans on hold. My entire industry was shut down. I had planned to move to New York immediately after graduating, but there was nothing for me there. So I moved home with my parents, and I had nothing to do. Remote jobs were hard to come by, and I didn't want to bring sickness into the house, but a bit later on, I saw a really interesting job that took place outside, and that was drawing caricatures at Six Flags. At this point, I had never drawn a single caricature in my life, but the job posting said that the only requirement was that I loved art. And I did love art, and I do love art. I applied and interviewed for the position, showed my portfolio, and I was hired. And I learned at the orientation that none of my coworkers had ever drawn a caricature either. We would all be learning together. But I'm out of time, so the last part of this story will come in the next video. This is part of a series where I draw free requests of my followers. So as always, if you want a chance to be featured in the next one, go ahead and follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all next time. Hi, I'm Corinne. I used to draw caricatures at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing a caricature of my follower Kathleen. Thanks for commenting your photo. A bunch of commenters have asked me to talk about my art background and how I got into caricatures. This is maybe part 5 of me answering that question, so if you haven't watched my previous videos yet, go ahead and check those out for the full answer. But as a quick recap, I was mostly self-taught in drawing, but I had never drawn a caricature when I was hired to draw them at Six Flags. It's a bit fuzzy now because this is like now 5 years ago, but from what I remember, we had maybe 5 days of training spread across 1 to 2 weeks. My manager taught us how to make good lines with our markers and how to color. I know that might sound silly because of course everyone knows how to color, but using woodless colored pencils is a new medium for a lot of people, and there are certain techniques to go quicker with it. We talked about different things to think about when exaggerating all the features of the face, and also how to effectively draw hair, especially different textures and curls and styles, how to break elements down into simple shapes, and we practiced drawing each other and getting feedback. And that was pretty much it, but I spent a lot of time practicing at home on family members and friends and online friends, and then I was just thrown into doing it way sooner than I felt ready. I was so nervous about offending people. If anything, I was probably too nice on my first caricature. And don't get me wrong, the goal is not to be mean, but these customers actually asked for a really goofy caricature and I was just too scared. But my confidence grew over time and I learned more as I took bigger risks. As always, if you like this video and you want a chance to be featured in the next one, follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. Hi, I'm Corinne. I learned to draw caricatures at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing Gabe, who left a photo in the comments. I really love these little mushroom beads or charms that are in the hair. Usually I would start my caricature by outlining the bottom of the face, the jaw and the chin. But since so much of the face is covered by the hair, I decided to work from top down instead. Adapting my process to fit the reference is something that I learned with experience. If I was brand new to drawing caricatures, I wouldn't really know how to break out of the formula that I was taught. And that's why my #1 tip for beginner artists or artists of any level is practice. It's so simple, and I know no one wants to hear that, but I promise it's the truth. You won't learn how to tackle every challenge by watching tutorials. You just have to do it for yourself. But the good news is, practice can be more fun than you think. Learning art doesn't need to look like endless technique drills. Almost everything I learned was from making finished pieces. One of the most valuable skills you can learn is completing something, whether it's perfect or not. It teaches you to persevere and work around mistakes instead of giving up. If every mistake made me start over, I would never finish anything. There is a lot of truth to the saying, perfect is the enemy of good. I really hope these voiceovers are helpful and interesting to other artists and to people who want to learn to draw. In the comments, let me know what you find enjoyable. Do you like it when I walk you through the process? Do you like hearing art tips? Do you like stories about being an artist or just stories about my life? I want to know what's the most fun for you, so go ahead and let me know in the comments. And as always, if you want a chance to be drawn by me, follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. Hi, I'm Corinne. I used to draw caricatures at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing my follower by the username ThisObituary. I started by emphasizing the length of the face and also exaggerating the sharper angles, which is something that I think works especially well for alternative styles. Normally I would follow this by outlining the top of the head, but I thought it'd be easier to figure out the proportions of bangs to face once I did the features. And yes, this commenter has a really cute cat that I couldn't resist drawing as well. I feel like the ears on a hairless cat really pop. They look so much bigger without the fur on the forehead to add volume. So I drew these ears super big and pointy. I love the little paws. I really wanted them sticking out. And with the cat being held like this in the reference picture, I'm really running with the idea of cat is baby. One thing I really admire in other caricature artists' work is the ability to find a small detail and blow it up into a huge gag. So I decided to draw this cat all bundled up in a little baby blanket. And now I'm adding some more hair on the other side of the face. I accidentally did a tangent on the first stroke of the hair. That's an art term for when the outline of two shapes touch. We generally want to avoid tangents in our composition because it makes the image look a bit flat and it can also be visually confusing. You can see the original line of where the hair touches the cheekbone, and to fix it I just built the hair out a bit more. I also like to show the ends of the hair whenever I can, even if that means making it windswept or defying gravity. Showing the exact length improves the likeness of the caricature. I'm adding a spiderweb design as a finishing touch because I see some in the background, and that's pretty much it. So if you want a chance to be featured in the next one, go ahead and follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. Hi, I'm Corinne. I used to be a caricature artist at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing my follower, Maji2, who left a photo for me in the comments. I'm starting with a little bit more detail in the hair than I usually do. I really wanted to get in those face framing pieces because they overlap a bit with the features of the face. Especially since I'm emphasizing the size and placement of the eyes, I know that that hair is going to fall in front, so I have to map out the space for it. There are a few styles I alternate between for eyelashes, but I always find them to be the most satisfying part of the video to watch. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Noses are one of the big areas I'm looking to improve because they're really complex and I find it hard to simplify them down. But I'm really happy with how I simplified this one. I think it has a good cartoony look to it. It's just one of those things that you adjust to when you have a new art style to learn. Or in my case, when you're returning to an art style that you haven't used in a while. I'm pleased with the mouth too. I really like the way that the teeth show dimension. And then I'm drawing a lot of hair. Drawing curls is very time consuming, but I do find it very fun. I think for a lot of people, when they're trying to draw curls in a cartoon style, the instinct is to go for S-shaped waves or curlicues, and then they get frustrated because it doesn't really look the way that they want it to. My best advice for drawing curls is to remember that hair does not curl in individual spirals, it curls in clumps. So it's helpful to think in a 3D sense when drawing curls, like pipes or tubes or ribbons. I love it when the reference image gives me ideas of what to draw. I was really inspired by the pink glowing light, so I did incorporate that. But I will admit that I snooped on this person's page a little bit to get a sense of their accurate skin tone. And these are the finishing touches. If you want a chance to be featured in the next one, follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. See you tomorrow! Hi, I'm Corinne. I'm a former caricature artist at Six Flags, and now I just draw for fun. Today I'm drawing my follower's son. Maybe it's because of the Invader Zim hat, but I felt really inclined to lean into a cartoon style on this one. When drawing hats, I usually work from the bottom up. It's easier for me to start with the brim of the hat before drawing the top. If I was just drawing hair, I would instead start at the top of the head and then do the inner hairline. These are just a few simple ways that I adapt my process to each reference image because when you're working in marker, there are no do-overs. And this is the part where you might be a little bit confused because I decided to not go with a straightforward composition that I see in the reference photo. Instead, I took elements that are in the reference photo and decided to play with them and make them funny. In the photo, it looks like Sun is holding some sort of boba drink, and I thought it would be fun to actually put him inside the drink instead. To me, this is more engaging to look at than just a simple background, so when I have these sorts of creative framing ideas, I really try to run with them. As an artist, you have to have the confidence to not run away from your creative ideas. If you're struggling to figure out what to draw, you can always take inspiration from even mundane details like a drink in the hand. And this is why I love images that tell a story, even if that story is just, I went to the boba shop. So if you have photos that tell a story or say something about yourself, I really encourage you to submit those. Or if you don't have photos like that, feel free to tell me a little bit of something about yourself. If I was live drawing, I would definitely have a conversation with my subject where I would poke around a little bit for details about their hobbies and what they like. And I would often incorporate the things that they were carrying around the park with them. If someone had a huge stuffy that they wanted a booth, I would include it in the picture. I don't always have those opportunities online, so I do like to embrace them when they come. So if you want a chance to be featured in the next one, follow me, like this video, and leave a photo in the comments. See you tomorrow!